Hello, world, and welcome. My name is Mark, and today I'm talking with Aria Zenua. Aria is a Toronto based singer, songwriter, performer, and business owner who has entertained people at home and around the world with her unique vocal sounds, style, and songs. Welcome, Aria.
Thank you, Mark. I love that intro.
I wrote,
It
I wrote, I wrote it myself.
was perfect. It was simple and concise. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and it's all you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's great to have you here. Um, before I get started with all the questions I have to ask in our conversation, as I was mentioning to you before, I really like to let people hear you. So what we'll do is we'll play a little clip of you. I believe it's at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes.
And how many years ago? 13 years ago, or
Maybe, definitely 13. It's not less than 13 years. That's for
okay.
sure.
Well, it's
Yeah.
one it's one of my favorite clips. I'm going to grab it now, and let's put this up live.
Some people live for some people live just for fame. Some people live for the power, yeah. Some people live just to play games. Some people live physical things define what's within, but I'm there before, and their lives are more so full of the superficial. Some people want it all, but I don't want it at all. If it ain't you, baby, some people want diamond rings, some just want everything, but everything means nothing. I ain't got you. People search for the fountain. Promises forever young. Some people need 3 dozen roses, and that's the only way to prove you love them.
Wow. Wow. I never get tired of hearing you sing that song and watching that clip. It's just such a beautiful moment.
It's still very vivid in my memory as well. And that song still feels the same way to me when I listen to it. Yeah, that Alicia Keys song still resonates with me for sure.
And you know, it seems watching you sing live like that, and I've seen you live many times, and so it seems like this is where you're meant to be. You're meant to be on stage. You're meant to be singing. You're meant to be providing those moments for yourself and for your audience. And where were you always? Did you always have it in mind when you were younger? Did you always think that you would be a singer?
No, no. When I hear stories like that, I'm always in awe. I'm like, wow, you just knew. Like you hear people who say, I knew, I heard it was this, I was at this concert or it was this moment. I knew from then on out that like I was gonna be an actress or a singer. I didn't have a moment like that. I no. I mean, I was singing from quite a young age, but I don't remember thinking that this is what I was going to do until maybe about 2008. So maybe I did kind of have a moment, but yeah, it was much later. 2008, I went away to Hong Kong and I was only singing for, I know I'm jumping ahead. I was singing for almost a year in Hong Kong, and it was when I came back from that experience where I was like, that's it. All I want to do is sing.
That must have been quite the experience. I know that there's many Toronto musicians and vocalists in particular who that's where they end up having to go to really find themselves and to hone their craft and to get sort of to that next level is by having gigs that it's 6 days a week
Mm.
and singing and working on tunes and working on their craft. Did you?
Oh, so that's a common, you're saying you've heard that quite a bit. That's what was
I
needed before they realized.
Yeah, I know I
Ah,
know I know I know many people who've gone that route and who've come back quite changed from it.
yeah, that happened. It did happen to me. I didn't think that excuse me, I didn't think that I had a moment like that. And then as I was answering your question, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I did have that moment. I always assumed that people had that moment when they were very young.
Hmm.
They knew early. I feel like that was a bit late.
Right. What were you more interested in when you were younger?
Uh, I was I just liked being outside and nature as
Yeah.
a child. I don't know how far we're supposed to go back here, but when you ask
No,
me that
just.
question, I immediately think of childhood and just running outside, climbing trees, being in the water, on the
Hmm.
beach,
Hmm.
writing stories. Yeah.
Well, that all kind of makes sense because your music has a lot of the natural sounds and the nature themes and the
Yeah.
story.
One of my first songs actually that I remember,
Hmm.
it was about springtime. I was like 6 years old. So yeah, nature's always been in there for sure.
Right. And were you playing music with your family?
As a child,
Hmm.
my dad, yeah, my dad was in quite a few bands. And so he would take me to his rehearsals. At the time, I can't say that I loved them all. I, I was I was really young, so some of the time I was get restless or bored. But when I look back at it, there's a lot that I absorbed from those moments. And my mom, though she wasn't in bands or anything like that, she definitely sang a lot in our home. She sang a lot. Yeah.
I think that's you're getting things through osmosis. You're picking it up. You're picking it up whether you realize it or not.
Yes. All of us are.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask you a little bit more about that experience in Hong Kong. How did that happen for you? What made that a reality?
I remember I was working at I was working at Blinds to Go as a
Hmm.
design consultant. Remember it because I think I was walking home from work and a bass player that I had played with a few times called me and said, "Hey, there's this opportunity to go to Dubai. Are you interested?" Yeah, "Are you interested?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to travel. I want to sing. I would love to." And so he said, "Okay, well, you got to do this audition." And I said I was open to it. And I don't remember the audition at all. I just remember finding out that it wasn't Dubai, in fact, that plans had changed. And then it was Hong Kong. And I was like, I still want to go. So when they said that they wanted to bring me over, I was all for it. I was like, I don't have anything holding me down or that I'm attached to at that time. Blinds to Go, I was okay with letting it go. And traveling over to sing 6 nights a week in Hong Kong. And I knew the bass player, but I didn't know anyone else. So it was a transforming experience for sure.
Were you already a professional singer at that point when you went?
I was, I was a professional singer at that point. The reason why I hesitated is because when I came back, things were just in a different gear.
Hmm.
But I was already still, I was performing and writing original music before leaving. When I came back, it's just the level of engagement, the gear kind of kicked in a bit stronger.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And you probably learned a lot of songs that you hadn't known previously.
Yes, I did. I did. I learned a lot of songs and I learned a lot about performing live 6 nights a week for nearly a year. I had to work through a lot of mental blockages and nerves, adapting in the moment, working with other people that I didn't really know, being in a country that I had never been, like everything was brand new. So there's a lot of breaking down, letting go and reshaping. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I mean, you know, you could, I bet a lot of people would look at that experience kind of like as a romantic kind of adventure, right? Go to a new country, stay in swanky hotels and do all that stuff. But I think it was probably a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work for my vocals. It was a lot of work for my discipline. It was a lot of work for just like socially, getting into the groove. Oh my goodness. I had to mentally prep sometimes before going outside the hotel because it was so busy. The streets were so busy that I had to, and I don't love crowds. I'm not a person that loves being in the midst of crowds. So I really had to like, there's a lot that I had to work on, not just with the music, just a lot overall, myself as a person, everything.
A life changing experience for sure.
Yes,
And
traveling will do that to you.
it will, and it's great. And you were there for a whole year, and you learned the ropes,
I did.
and got to sing. And how was it dealing with people at the gigs? Was it different there than it is here? I'm curious.
It's a good question. Was it different? I think that no, I don't remember anything jumping out at me as vastly different. It was just the work ethic was very sharp, you know? I wouldn't say that it wasn't like that here. I think it was just more in my face when I was there. Know your stuff, know it well, and be ready to go. So I can't say it was different necessarily. I just the work ethic was at the forefront at all times.
Yeah, and you were playing some pretty high class places, I imagine too.
We were at one
One that
venue,
wow.
6 nights a week. Same venue, 6 nights a week at the top of I think it was called Tots Hotel.
Hmm.
I don't know if my memory's at Causeway Bay. I'm gonna check. Anyone from Hong Kong that's listening, don't point fingers. I'm trying to jog my memory. I'm pretty sure yeah, it was the same venue. That's for sure. And every night they love, love, love live music. So if they like you, they're
Hmm.
coming back with minimum 10 friends.
Right.
And they're going to come back night after night after night after night and sing and dance with you like it was their first time hearing you.
That's what I was getting at about things being different, because I think the gigs, the people that come to the gigs,
Yes.
that there are a little bit different than sometimes here.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't know I
Yeah.
thought you meant the musicians. No,
No, no.
completely different. They love everyone. It's not like we love live music here. I'm not saying that. I just mean if they like you, they're coming back with minimum 10 friends the next day. When they say they're coming back and they will remain. I met people that consistently came almost every night. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And there was a plethora of options in Hong Kong of live musics. Every street, there's different spot you can go see live music. Yeah,
Yeah. What a great a great way to make a living and to see the world.
agreed.
Yeah. Did you ever consider going on cruise ships or anything like that? Now that I think of it.
No, I never got offered a cruise ship, but I did think about it because I ran into a lot of people who said they had been on a cruise ship. And I always thought if someone asked me, would I go? I just as much as I said I like the water, something is a little unnerving about me being on the water for that long. I don't know.
I get it. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that there's a lot of opportunities out there that you don't really think about depending on where you are at the time. And there's
Yeah.
a lot more out there than you might think, right?
Would you do a cruise ship? Have you?
I haven't done a cruise ship. I think it's funny now. There's a thing called yacht rock. Like it's actually a thing. There's all the old I guess all the older bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
They coined that phrase because they actually do tours. Like they do blues cruise ships. They do. I think the Guess Who's doing a cruise ship right now. So
Okay.
so it's a thing. I don't know that the cruises are that long, but there's definitely versions of that out there because people love music,
Yeah.
and they love hanging and meeting with the musicians.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
So
do.
so it's sort of I guess it's sort of like a cruise ship meet and greet the whole way through.
Mm-hmm. It sounds great. I just don't know if I could I could sign up for it.
Would you ever go back to Hong Kong?
Hmm. Not for that long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm not closed off to traveling. I just not for that long, no. Now that I'm a mama,
Yeah, you have other priorities.
yeah.
You have other priorities. Um, tell me a little bit about the kinds of bands that you were in because I noticed one thing with you is you've got this sort of a dual track going. You've got your original music and songwriting, which I want to ask you about, but you also do a lot of collaborations as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
I
You're kind
do.
you're kind of doing both things.
Yeah. And you know what? Around the time when you and I first met, there was a lot of original stuff going on, mixed with the covers, right? But there was a good, maybe even more of the original stuff. And even if it wasn't my original song, I was putting together my own shows and making them, forming my own creative ventures and that kind of thing. Um, and so, but then it leaned more into the corporate world, and I stopped doing as many original things. I kind of got into the whole wedding, corporate launch, festival kind of avenue, and I wasn't really doing a lot of original stuff for a long, long, long time. Like my phone's filled with voice notes of song snippets and ideas. It's ridiculous how many voice notes I have in there. But I wasn't actively finishing songs and performing them, so I really leaned into the corporate side. And it's only now recently that I've gotten back into actually like writing and completing songs and having a strong urge to want to share them. That's more recent. So they're both running. You said to mention a few of the band stuff I do. I do Motown. I'm in a Motown tribute band, so I got to mention that because that's very much alive and well, and I adore it.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that, and it's amazing. And you recently did a tour of Australia with that.
Yes, in February.
Yay, world travel!
Oh my goodness, Mark. I like Australia to be able. I sat and I thought, you mean I've been able to get to a place with music where I was blessed enough to be offered an opportunity to go to Australia, a place that I never ever thought I would see or even thought of, hey, I want to go to Australia. So then to be there and to do something that I love with people that I've been working with for quite a long time that I'm close with was just a huge, huge blessing that I do not take lightly. Yeah.
It's amazing. And so you have the Motown, and you do some other stuff too. You have. I'm trying to think. Go back
Yeah.
into my mind
I
for a second.
I was in a I was in an all-female reggae band for a little bit called Resolution. I sang,
Resolution. I
yeah.
saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, I sang with Resolution for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mostly those are the recent ones.
Right. There's Women of Indigo.
Yeah, Women of Indigo. So that was a while ago, but yes, I was with the Women of Indigo, and at that time it was such a meaningful collective because we were putting together workshops for young women to learn about songwriting, to learn about instruments. That was a huge part of it. All the women in the collective played an instrument, and so we would run workshops where we could talk about songwriting and learning, sharing our knowledge of instrumentation and exploring ourselves as artists. And so, yeah, at that time, Women of Indigo was phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah. And there's so and is the wedding and corporate stuff still an ongoing thing for you?
it still is an ongoing thing. Yes,
That's
there was a
great.
time when that's all I did, though. That's all. It was like every weekend, weddings, 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 all the time, weddings, weddings, weddings. Thursday nights, weddings. So now it's not as thick, partially because I kind of pulled back a little bit, but I
Hmm.
still do it for sure.
Well, it seems the experience in Hong Kong definitely trained you well for doing the wedding circuit,
It
because
did.
like
Yeah.
everything really fit together in a way that it allowed you to be so confident and free to just get up on stage and do a whole night every week or every weekend or twice a weekend, because you'd already been doing it for 6 nights.
Right. So that was like a walk in the park. I mean, it was, I shouldn't say a walk in the park.
Yeah.
It's still a lot to do. But I was like, of course, sure. 3 60-minute sets, 3 45-minute sets. Okay, let's go. Rock and roll.
It's like weight training with the heavier weights, and all of a sudden you're just doing the lights,
Hmm.
and you're able to handle it quite easily. And I think, now that you mention it, this idea of the woman of indigo, and the songwriting and the instruments and the things you were just telling me, that kind of fits into what you're doing now with your own business too.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's just with much younger audience, but yes.
Yeah. So I want to, before I get to that, I want to ask you a little bit about your songwriting, because you write great songs.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to play one right now. what a
Okay,
what a segue that was. I didn't plan
let's
it,
get into
but
it.
I didn't plan it. But let's get into this little song here, because it's a song that I remember the first time that I heard it, and I
You
and I
do?
I do, and I told you it was a hit, because it is, and I still love it to this day, and it's Trippin'. So
Mm,
yeah, what a great tune. I'm gonna play your official video of it, although I'll put in all the links, because there's a great version of you doing it. I think it's with the Women of Indigo at one of the little
I
clubs on
love
your on. Yeah, that's a great version as well. So hang on
I
just
love
a
that
sec.
clip. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get to this.
Told myself that I would never do it again. Fell in love, but he took off with my best friend. Well, the two of them are lovey-dovey. I'm here alone, sitting
Trippin is so much fun.
It's so much fun, and you know, one of the things that well, a few things I love about that tune. One is it's a fun tune. It's got a great story, of course,
Yeah.
and like all I'm going to say, like a lot of great tunes, the music part and the story part are not the same, in the sense that, you know, the music's bopping along and it's fun and you can dance, but the story's not a fun story.
It's not a fun story at all.
And that's a really, you know, that's one of the great things about music, is that, you know, whether it's blues or soul or Latin music and a lot of different kinds, you have this thing where, or like, you know, it feels, the music is feeling good, but if you really listen closely, a lot of Stevie Wonder stuff is like that too, right? You listen to the lyrics
Yeah, that's
and
true.
you're like, oh my goodness, really?
Ouch.
And
Yeah.
you want to cry, but the music
You
part of
can't.
it, the beat and the groove is different.
Mm-hmm. It keeps you uplifted through it
Yeah,
somehow.
and this tune has that, and it's just such a great tune to listen to, whether it's on this video or whether, you know, you're still playing it live. Do you get a chance to play it live at all?
I
Do you
haven't played that in a long time. Like I
mm,
said, honestly, I hadn't been doing any of my original stuff for quite some time when I got into
hmm
the corporate side of things.
hmm
So I couldn't tell you the last time I did that.
I think I'm going to make a corporate suggestion here for all the corporate people listening. Is there's lots of musicians like yourself who have great original tunes. Incorporate them into the wedding gigs too.
It's a great idea, but you know, they
I
want
know.
to hear what they know.
hmm
And it's not to say that they wouldn't like the stuff,
hmm
but it's a risk.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a risk. And I found that in that scene, they kind of, this is what I like. This is what I want to hear.
Right. This this is the set list you're going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was wishful thinking on my part, but
It's not a total closed door. It's just, it's a little bit different. It's a little
it's a
different.
it's a little different. But hopefully, if some of the people who are at those gigs get to see you out live, right? Because, you know, they might come to a club, they might see you in different places. They get to know you as an artist a little bit more, and maybe at that point they actually might want to hear those tunes and say, "Hey, we know this tune. Play it for
Yes,
us."
that's true. Absolutely. It's possible for sure.
Yeah, you never know. Um, Tell me a little bit about how you like to do your songwriting, because you talked about the, you know, the thousands of voice memos.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
do you have do you have a process for your song? Like, even like, for example, this song or the other songs I know you've written. Do you have a process that you follow? Do they come to you fully formed? Do you work with other people to make it happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. Do I have a process? If I have a process, I haven't analyzed my patterns to recognize it. I probably have to sit down and look at my patterns or look at what I've done and see if there's any patterns. I can say that a lot of the time it's through action. It's not like I sat down and said, okay, I'm going to write a song. Let me think of something. It's more so I used to go for a lot of walks as a teenager. If I was going through something, if anything happened at home, if whatever in life, lots of things are wild when you're a teenager. There's a lot going on for me. And so I would go on a lot of walks. I put my headphones on and I would write songs while walking or write songs while being at the park on a swing, just letting my mind kind of go. So I didn't often have a pen and paper. It would kind of just be me flowing, and that's why the voice notes come in, because I would just record snippets of them and then eventually I would get the song. Sometimes I'd say when I was a teenager, a lot of the times the songs just came in their entirety. A lot of the time they would just flow, or at least enough of it where I could then sit down with a pen and paper and fill in the blanks a little bit. Um, I very seldomly sit with a pen and write out the lyrics. A lot of it is just me driving and singing the song, looking up at the clouds, or I'm paying attention. It's just didn't sound right. um, I'm very inspired by nature. So yeah, I could stare at clouds and just write a song just from staring at the clouds, or rain. Rain is a big one for me. Rain is a pattern that I noticed. Rain inspires me tremendously. Yeah. So do I have a process? I'd have to analyze that to see.
Well, I think you actually gave the process in the answer already. You you hear patterns, you hear feelings and flows, and they come to you, and you write them down, and I think you get into that mental groove, that feeling, and then things just start to happen from there, as opposed to, as you say, sitting down saying, okay,
Yeah, no.
now it's time to write.
Yeah, I don't have like formal writing sessions. Like Trippin, I
Hmm.
wrote it came in its entirety. I was cleaning my room. I was redesigning my room. I do that a lot. I
Hmm.
have to change things. And Trippin came out when I was in one of those modes. I was cleaning my room, rearranging it, and then it was just a story that came out. Just listening to the music and it just came, and it was lovely. I love when they just fall together like that.
Those are definitely the best moments, when
Mhm.
it just comes to you, and it's there it is.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you might have to make some minor modifications, or changes, or add some things, but really it just comes to you fully.
Yeah. Lately, when I was years ago, it seemed to do that a lot. Now, I guess maybe I think that it's because I had taken such a huge break from being creative to that degree that now I have so many snippets in my phone, right? But they're not full songs, and I rarely go back and finish it. Rarely. I'll just listen to the snippet and I love it and I listen to it over and over again, but I'm not able to finish the songs. I just leave them as they are.
Well,
So
that'll maybe be the next creative phase, is having those snippets come alive, and present themselves as songs when you listen to them.
yeah, maybe. Or now I'm at the place where I'm so comfortable with just being creative and not thinking about it in any kind of right or wrong way. It's just like if I decided tomorrow that I just want to release the snippets,
Hmm.
more than comfortable to just do that. And I'm not really concerned about anything
Hmm.
anyone has to really say about it because I'm not striving to make it get me anywhere or be the number one on a chart. Like, I really just want to express myself.
Right. That sounds like that's like a fundamental change that people sometimes go through, because when you start your motivations for starting off in the music business, and being a singer, and going to Hong Kong, and doing all this, were probably one kind of motivation. But now it seems your motivation is really centered on your creative voice.
That, yeah, and it feels so great because when I first started creating songs, that's what it was. It had nothing to do with anyone else. It was really just like my own expression, unfiltered, just expression. And I think that that's the kind of art that I like. That's the kind of art that I want to be involved with. I don't want to analyze it and dissect it and sand down the rough edges. And that's just how I feel right now. I'm very much aware that I can change tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So while this is going to be stamped here on this podcast, I am going to say that this could change.
Yes. Well, you did say you change your room often, so
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So in this case, you might change your mind on this often too.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's a-okay because that's what being creative's all about,
Yeah.
is having the freedom to change your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. To change my mind. Right now, yeah, I'm very much drawn to the unpolished, raw emotion of things coming out and not having to be a specific way versus being a specific count or matching the second verse. Or I really just want to do whatever I want to do, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking, and express it that way.
Isn't that great?
It's so great. It's really wonderful.
Yeah. And really that's I think what every creative artist really strives for is getting to the point where that's what they do is just how, express how they feel in whatever way that happens to be at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
It sounds
And
so simple, right? But I wasn't always here.
well, it's like that with kids in music and kids in art, right? It's that same thing when you don't have any conditions on yourself, you just do, right? Whether it's painting or drawing or
Mhm.
making up a song or whether you're writing or some poetry, you just do it because that's how you're feeling, and you don't worry about what other people are thinking. You don't worry about how it's supposed to be, and so you're free with it. And there's many times that produces the most unique and beautiful results.
It's true. It's true. I don't know how this is going to sound, but it goes with the theme of just being free. So I'm just going to say, um, when I was doing all of the corporate gigs and the weddings, I'm so grateful for everything that it taught me and all the incredible people that I met. It sharpened my skills, but I feel like it also kind of put me in some creative shackles a little bit. Uh, just because I was so programmed into doing all these covers and not even necessarily covers that I chose creatively. And so I really got into the mindset of this is for the client, this is for the company. This is not for me, it's for this purpose, for this person. So it's got to be this thing. And it subconsciously made me think about my own art as needing to be packaged, needing to be polished, needing to be a certain thing for certain people. Who are those people? What do they look like? What do they like? Not what do they look like physically, but I just mean I put a lot of shackles on just the creative process. It became very logical and analytical. And I'm just glad to that gave me experience and skill sets, but I'm just glad to have that and also have the quote unquote shackles off, where I can still carry what I've learned and be in a space where um I have the creative river flowing again.
Right. Wow. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, and I guess that leads me to ask you about the songs that this creativity and sort of going back to the beginning of things, the stuff that you're going to be doing with your dad.
Yeah. So it's great. It's great that I get to go back to the stuff that I did with my dad, because that's kind of where I started as an artist, right? And so it kind of feels a little bit like a circle. So I've gotten back to a place where I'm like, oh yeah, my dad and I have these incredible original songs that he wrote on the guitar, and then I did melodies for. I think most of them he had the melody first. Maybe I'm pretty sure that's how all of them went, actually. I don't think I presented a melody, but maybe one or two. And so, yeah, we've got these songs that I'm sure you know. You must know some of them already. And so, yeah, I'm doing these songs with my dad. These are not new songs. These are songs that I wrote a long time ago. And I feel compelled to share them in their rawest form, because my dad influenced me so much and has poured into me tremendously. And I almost kind of want to, it means so much to me to have them recorded and to have a place outside of just him and I, especially since I haven't performed in a long time. I just so desperately want to share them for anyone else who they resonate with. I want my children to be able to hear these songs that, I did with their grandfather. And so it really means a lot to me to get it done. And I'm not going to let that packaging mindset and all of the things that I used to think had to be done, otherwise you can't release it. It's gone now. It's like, it's my work. It doesn't need anything. It just needs me and my dad in this case, and a microphone, a little gear, and that's it.
And that's it. And really, it's funny how I guess we've all become conditioned over a certain point in time to think of this packaging and production and even now, for example, just looking at, for example, all of your links and things, you're on what, probably 10 different platforms with pictures and video and music and blogs, and it's and some of it, and really it's great, but not everything has to do with the music and the creativity itself, because you feel like you have to do that in order to be presentable to everyone. It's like someone says, "Oh, you're not here. Oh, what? You're not there." You need to be everywhere at the same time, and
Mm-hmm.
and maintain all those platforms and all those positions. But I can tell you that in my musical life, most of the greatest music I've ever heard is completely raw, to the point where sometimes the tape recorder wasn't spinning at the right speed and the microphones weren't great and there's people talking, but none of that really matters, because the music itself just was so much more than all that other stuff, that you could feel it, and it made an impression on you, and so you weren't really concerned with how it was recorded or where or what the production values were. It was just incredible by itself.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Completely. I was so lost though. I really did think that it wasn't good enough if it wasn't a certain way.
Hmm.
I felt like it wasn't, I don't know how that happened in my mind, how I allowed myself to accept the notion that it wasn't good enough, or it had to be a certain standard to be acceptable for all these incredible musicians that I met along the way that have this status. And, it's got to be, I can't, it's kind of sad that I really did believe that. Um,
I think we all go through those phases, not just in music but in other artistic endeavors as well. So it takes a while to go through that circle and come out the other side and know what you really want and why you want it.
yeah. And I do want to add that for artists, or even artists that I love, that are kind of perfectionists and want it a certain way,
Hmm.
filtering it that many times did also produce greatness. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jackson stuff is genius.
Oh yeah.
It's genius. Do you know that? And so I don't mean to discredit that, but I think you have to know yourself. And that's, I'm the person that I'm okay. I like the talking in the background, the note that wasn't perfect but had 100% emotion. That's me, and that's where that's what I'm living in.
Yeah. Everyone's different, and everyone has their own way. So, and it's great you found your way. I want to actually play one of the songs that you wrote with your dad, because it's funny how you say he wrote the melody, but I hear such a style. When I hear this song, the first time I heard it, I went, you're bringing yourself to this song. You're putting in the special sauce. It's all there.
Oh,
It's all there right from the beginning, and Yeah, it's what makes it so amazing to me. So hang on a sec. So this is called, I think, Contagious Smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hang on a second. Let me grab that song.
He got that contagious smile, got that make you wanna stay a while, got that know that you should back up and go, but now you just can't seem to let him go. Needing you, I'm needing you, I'm needing you, I'm needing you beside me. Oh, that make you wanna just lose your mind. That make you wanna get it one more time. That why you gotta hurt so bad. That why you're the only man I love. Needing you, I'm needing you, I'm needing you, I'm needing you beside me.
Okay, another hit.
I can't, yeah, I love that song too.
Yeah.
I love that song too. And that song, something as simple as even the title of a song, you know? I think I say Contagious Smile once in the song, whereas normally the titles of songs is the hook and it's what you hear all the time, but it was just whatever we felt like in that moment is what we stuck with, and we didn't feel we needed to change it. So Contagious Smile, yeah.
How many songs do you have together in this project that you're doing?
I think 11. I think 11. And then there's this intro that I want that I'm just debating if I want to do or not. It's a cappella. And I don't, so yeah, it might not be a full song to make it 12, but there's this kind of intro that I kind of want to do. So yeah, we're supposed to record next week.
Really?
Yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah, it is. No stress, no overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I want to.
just go.
I want to hear I can't wait to hear the tunes.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to share them. Because I think you must have heard Change is Good before. Maybe you might not recall it right away, but I did Change is Good a lot. I performed Change is Good quite a bit. Well, yeah.
I need to hear the whole thing. And
Yeah.
do you have a schedule for releasing it, or you're just at the recording stage?
I would, no, I don't have a date. I don't have a date. I'm kind of just operating off of we're going to record it next week and we want to get this out as soon as we can. So it's like, all right, let's get it into mixing and mastering as soon as we can. And then just let it loose.
And I do hope that you start to do. I mean, I haven't seen your schedule lately, but I hope that you do a lot more live performances with these kinds of tunes in the kind of ways you did them in the past,
Yeah,
which is just creating those moments and having a group of people just there to enjoy the music and hear the songs and start to take them in and get to know them.
I will. I can say that. Yes, I will. I feel so drawn to sharing my own voice, my own lyrics, my own stories. I briefly told you that there's so many incredible songs there to cover, but I really want to just speak my own stories and voices and let people know that there's so much more to me than, these covers that they've heard. I guess I kind of want to just, when they say, what is it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't remember the quote, but it's basically like something along the lines of birds of a feather flock together. Like if you're covering up, this isn't going to sound as poetic as I wanted it to. If you're covering up, you know, what kind of, oh my goodness, this is going to sound ridiculous. For some reason, I'm looking at a bird out of the window. The birds of a feathers in my mind, and I'm just thinking, if you're covering up the feathers that make you the bird that you are, no one can see it. How are you going to bond with your flock? How are you going to get in your groove? Find your tribe. I just want to like, hey man, these are what my wings look like. Want to come and soar the sky with me? Like, let's go. I know that was
I
a
like it.
rant.
No, no, but it's also true. If people don't really know who you are and what you're feeling, how do they know that you're part of the flock?
Yeah.
You're one of how they think, right?
Things I want to say and share. I'm looking forward to it.
I love that so much. It makes me so happy to hear you say those kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, and I'm so grateful that you have been this supportive since we met and genuinely interested and excited about the work that I do. I think it's so cool that we can connect like this and you still have the enthusiasm for music and the desire to share what others are doing. And so
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. It makes a difference in my life to receive that musically, right? And so why wouldn't I want to share it out?
I hear you.
You know, I mean, I get so much from listening to people and listening to the artists and hearing what they have to say and following their path and seeing and watching them grow and finding themselves. What a great thing it is to be able to share that with other people and say, you need to hear this person. You need to listen to them and follow them too and get to know them. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
create your own creative life as well with your music and your creations. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's wonderful. And to tie all this together now,
Hmm.
because it seems to me like everything you've said almost ties into the business you created.
Yeah. You know what? Yes, you've nailed it. It does. The you're talking about the teeny tinies.
Yes, I am.
So the teeny tinies is a children's music and development business that I started, and so the idea came when I was pregnant with my first. So that would have been 2013. I was always singing, right? And I was singing to him while I was pregnant, singing to him when he was born. He would wake up so early, and he'd wake up so early. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to strum and play my guitar. And he'd be playing with toys. And you hear his voice in these voice notes that I've recorded. And then I forget who it was, but somebody said, you should do like mommy circles. I know a friend who does this and you would be perfect for it. Just do it. And so I tried it one time at this spot on Queen Street East called Little Bean and Green. Brought my guitar, brought my little son, and it was just like maybe like four other moms. It was small cafe with a place at the back, really comfy. And I'd play some songs. We'd have some instruments and like it helped me because I it was my first time being a mom, so I got to connect with these other moms, and then there was the music and playing, and it was just so fulfilling on so many levels. So I did that for a while, and then in 2018 I kind of officially said, okay, I'm gonna do this more official. I'm gonna get a logo, I'm gonna have a business name, and I'm gonna really start pushing forward with this. And it does encompass a lot of what we've talked about and more. My business encompasses so much of what I enjoy, including nature and crafts and art and learning about, well, let's dive into why ladybugs do this and let's what do the bees do, like, and fuse that into music and make them into workshops or classes, educational videos. Uh and so I just get so excited about it because so much of what I'm learning, so much of what I like to do as a child, I get to now infuse into this business that I've created for children that as a grown woman I still very much enjoy. And I know how it feels to help other moms, families in this way to connect together, and then to bring it into, childcare centers and schools, to help educators, to help in the classroom. Because, I mean, I don't want to get off topic here, but I went to school later on to get my early childhood education because I wanted to know more about the development side of things to combine with the music experience that I had. And so learning all of that, bringing it into childcare centers and to schools, is very fulfilling because there's a lot in those systems that I think are good, but a lot of things that need to be rocked a little bit. And I think music helps to kind of loosen some of that rigidity. Hopefully that's a I've been stumbling with my words lately. Yeah, I love bringing it in because when there's so many children in these classes, it can get hectic. And every time I'm able to bring my music or a scarf or a shaker, it just chills things out, and we can kind of get into a groove. So I see right away how it enhances regulation and learning. And I'm just happy to bring that element of creativity into the classroom and share it with other educators and with early learners too, because they need it. Adults need to be reminded to play too.
It really works on so many levels. It really is. It's not just the obvious, like taking a guitar and playing for some kids and having them sing along. That's maybe what someone might see on the outside looking in, but
Hmm.
everything you've just described is so much deeper than what you're seeing on the face.
Oh my goodness, it's so much deeper. Yeah, it's so much deeper. I look at situations with a different lens now. You might just see someone shaking, singing a song. But when you watch these children over a series of classes, you see, hey, that one wasn't really saying much in the beginning, and now they're doing this, and ooh, they got the rhythm, and ooh, they added this to it. Or a class that's just buzzing up here in terms of energy, and you bring in a certain song, and you could just chill. It's almost like magic. It's almost like magic. Um, yeah, there's a lot of levels to music and development for sure that you could dig really deep into.
It sounds super fulfilling, and I can tell you that with my own children,
Uh-huh.
going out to music events and seeing some of the people at that time, I've got so many stories about those moments when they were singing along with other musicians and sort of getting into songs and the groove and all that. I know what a big difference it made for them, and even as an adult, it made a big difference for me. It's really not just the kids that are getting the benefit. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
I was getting just as much benefit in different ways from those experiences. So it wasn't just them. And I think
Yeah.
what you're doing with this business is phenomenal because it's very necessary. And really, you're probably just kind of like what I was saying. You're probably learning as much or more from them as they're learning from you.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking about that today. We're co-learners. It's not like I'm up here and I'm teaching them. I'm right here.
Hmm.
And sometimes, if anything, I'm like, oh, that was good. Just open my perspective. I never would have looked at it that way or asked that question. Or, I learned so much. And I was trying to formulate how to write my thoughts today about that specific thing. I was just like, we have to remember that we are co learners. If we as educators try to structure everything for them, it really is not doing them a service. We have to trust their curious capabilities and leave room for them to kind of lead. And that's really big as an educator, as a parent, caregiver.
What I was going to say is that they say you have something to learn from everyone.
Yes.
And what you're giving those kids in these classes, I think one of the things that's so important is whether they realize it or not intellectually the way you and I might at this age, they're starting to see where they're having an effect on you. They're teaching you something. Can you imagine like that, like a young kid thinking, wow, I really taught Miss Aria something here. She's like, she's getting what I'm talking about. What a,
Yeah. Yeah.
what, what a crazy thing that would be for a young kid.
I know. I know. It's kind of like something as small as my son saying to me, look at that. Look at that cloud. It looks like it's an owl head with a human body. And like when they realize that you finally see it, they're like, yeah, see? Like you finally see what I see. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of The Little Prince, the book The Little Prince.
I have indeed.
I love The Little Prince, but it's kind of like that, where, adults grow up and then they just can't see anymore. They can't see these things that all the wonder and magic that children can see. Um, and the goal is always to make sure that you keep, for me anyways, keep that open as much as you can. And so, yeah, the excitement that these little children get when it's like, oh, she sees it, or she's here with me, or, we're in this. uh they get extremely excited for sure. But yeah, that would be really cool if they do have a moment where they're like, yeah, see, I taught her something. That'd be interesting.
It must be an amazing experience. And are you doing it with are you teaching other people how to do what you're doing, or is it just on your own right now?
You mean like having other facilitators or that go out and do what I do
And
kind of thing?
and or learn with you and really understand how to do it.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I did start doing in childcare centers. I would go and I'd bring these music programs, or I'd go do them on a weekly basis. But now I've started adding in a component where I can talk to the educators and kind of put together professional development workshops, where we can kind of get into the music aspect and talk about the flow of things. So, in that sense, yes, it's sharing the knowledge that way so that these, early childhood educators in these childcare centers can get a better grip on how you can use music to transform the entire day, the entire experience. Uh, so yes, I'm sharing it in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're branching out. You're really growing your business in some very different ways now.
Yeah, that's new. That's new. A center asked me and I was like, "Oh, I never thought about that." So let me start working on that because someone asked me to do that in their center, to do professional development with their educators, and I was like, I'm wasn't thinking of that, but now I will. And so it's been great to put that together.
It's your it's your early educator Hong Kong moment.
Yeah, exactly. 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 That was the
So
moment.
someone says, "Do you think you could do that?" And you say, "Yeah, I think I could do that."
Yeah, and then you go get to work.
And you just figure it out, right?
Yes, you figure it out.
You figure it out. I really love that you're doing this business because it's an important thing for kids and for parents, and it really puts you in that creative space where you get even another way to do music.
Yeah, another way to do music, another way to be creative, another way to be connected to nature,
Hmm.
to each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this clip. We have this clip of you doing one of your kids' songs, which I really like. So let me grab that song. It's called
Yeah.
Over the Rainbow.
Over the rainbow.
Yeah, here we go.
Over the rainbow, I can see a bright blue sky. Over the rainbow, let me see your arms up high, like this, and stretch them far and wide, and stretch them far and wide. All right, we're gonna sing all the colors of the rainbow, starting with the color red. Here we go. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Over the rainbow, I can see a bright blue sky. Over the rainbow, let me see your arms up high, like this, and stretch them far and wide, and stretch them far and wide. All right, now that you know all the colors of the rainbow, we're gonna start with the color red, and you're gonna pretend that you can jump way up high and touch all of them, okay? Starting with red, here we go! Jump, jump, jump for red, and jump, jump, jump for orange, and jump, jump, jump for yellow, and jump, jump, jump for green, jump, jump, jump for blue, and jump, jump for indigo, go, jump, jump, jump for violet, then freeze. Yay! Here we go! Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet.
Yeah, so I love that one because it teaches little ones about colors, teaches them about the sequencing of colors, and to notice things in the world around them. And there's so many different ways that the song can be used. It can be used with scarves, colorful scarves. Um, there's a video that I put out where you can do actions with the song. So it's great for like body movement, which you need body breaks sometimes throughout the day. And it's been great to see parents send me clips of their little ones singing the song and using the scarves. And I'm happy that the first song that I was able to release was connected to nature in some shape or form. I think that children need to be reminded of that, and we all need to get outside a lot more. So happy to share that.
Yeah, I think I think that's a big part of growing up for sure is to be outside and enjoy nature, and music. Music is part of nature already. All the birds singing,
Sure.
the wind blowing, the rain, all of those things. It's all musical sound.
Exactly.
And we were just talking about your business and the fact that you are actually recording an album.
Yes, I'm recording an album right now. I've some of the songs I wrote a long time ago. Some of them are very new. One of them I wrote today, actually. And so I'm just, categorizing them and how I want to release them. But it's one of the things that I'm most excited about, uh, because these songs are just, they're such a creative outlet for me. And then I also, because I work in childcare centers and I'm with mamas all the time, I'm looking forward to see how it helps them in their daily routines, with their daily routines, and how the little ones are going to interact with it. Because we were talking about some of our memorable childhood influences, right? And how meaningful they were. And I'd love to contribute in some shape or form. So I can't wait to release that album.
Yeah, I love that idea. And kids generally speaking, they love repetition.
Yes,
It's definitely a kid thing, and if they hear a song, for example, like "Over the Rainbow," in class with you, they want to hear that more than once, and you might only want to sing it 10 times before you need a break. So, so if it's on a disc or if it's on an MP3 or whatever it is, they'll be able to listen to it a whole bunch.
I'm excited for my dad and I'm equally as excited for the children's work that I've been doing. It is so fulfilling. It's really fulfilling. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm glad we got to talk about the album as well.
Yeah, me too. And like I said before, we're definitely going to come back when the album's released with you and your dad, and we'll definitely come back when the album is released with your teeny tiny songs, because those are things that we want people to know about and have access to and get to see and hear.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Deal. You have a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of goodness, but I do think of ways to limit the amount of things that are going on all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right. Right. You have to keep yourself centered and balanced too.
I do. Australia reminded me of that.
In what way?
Well, in Australia, everything else had to be put on pause. The teeny tinies, the weekly bookings, being a mother, um, everything else except what I was doing in Australia, which was the Motown shows. All I had to think about was, this is what time sound check is. This is what time the show starts. These are the days. And that was it. And I can't tell you the last time my schedule was ever that simple. And it really made a huge difference in how I think, operate, and feel. Some people are good with a whole bunch of things going on. That simplicity for me was healing. I love what I'm doing. I think it's great to get to a place where you can kind of simplify things so that there's not so much on the go at the same time, all the time, even if it's all good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's true, and especially to do creative things. Creative things take
Yeah.
take 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 a certain quiet and a certain focus, to be able to just draw it out and be able to work with it. Some people can do it, I guess, in a chaotic way, but most musicians I know, they really need, a contiguous amount of time where they're not interrupted and they can just do what their mind is wanting them to do.
Yeah. That's not reality for me
And
at
for
all.
most people.
Yeah, but that is the ideal scenario for the creativity to fully flow. I still think I'll find a flow.
Hmm. But here we are. I'm going to thank you once again for being here today and talking about the things that you had done, the things that you are doing, and the things that you're going to be doing in the future, including that amazing recording with your dad, because that's going to be a really worthwhile project.
Definitely. I cannot wait to share. And once again, I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Glad that we could talk again after all these years and catch up. I love what you're doing as well. And with the podcast and music creations and sharing all of this goodness with everyone. So thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure.
Got me tripping on my own 2 feet. You got me tripping on my own 2 feet. Got me tripping on my own 2 feet. Na 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 na. Told myself that I would never do it again, but you call me up with your sweet talk and I can't pretend. Hold on, I have to wait for Whitney to get up here. Come Whitney, I need to see you dance. All right, here you go. Told myself that I would never do it again. Fell in love, but he took off with my best friend. Well, two of them are lovey-dovey, I'm here alone. Sitting lonely, staring at my cellular phone. It's been 1 month, you ain't even called me. It's been 3 months, you ain't do nothing for me. And it's been 5 months, and I still remember your name. Sitting lonely, wondering if you're feeling the same. Got me tripping on 2 feet, yeah. Got me tripping on 2 feet, yeah. Got me tripping on my 2 feet, yeah. I don't want you no more. No, listen, don't open my door. Told myself that I would never do it again, but he called me up with his sweet talking. I can't pretend like he didn't have me going home from your love potion. Rockin' city in a handle emotion. It's been 1 month, you ain't even call me. It's been 3 months, you ain't do nothing been all my